Yeah, so let's take on our next story. You know, the assault on Boko Haram, the merchants of death tormenting our country, is a long and sustained one. But the heartwarming news reaching us has it that the Nigerian military has arrested a Chinese national alleged to be providing drone operation support to the dreaded Boko Haram and ISWAP groups in the northeast. Military intelligence sources disclosed that the foreign national was caught in the act. The revelation has sparked outrage amongst Nigerians, even as it raises questions about foreign involvement in Nigeria's security crisis. Let's share this story with you before we give our own, context.
Days after troops in the northeast arrested the Chinese national, military authorities say investigation is on to determine what the suspect, who is alleged to be a miner, was doing in a military operation area.
There are so many illegal miners all over the place. But the question is, what carried him there as at that time of arrest? And why was he in an operational area where our troops were conducting operations?
The investigation is coming barely a month following the arrest of Pakistani nationals suspected to have links with terrorist groups in the country.
So the Chinese national has been detained and he is undergoing interrogation. When the interrogation is completed, then we'll be able to furnish you with the details.
Arrest of Chinese and Pakistani nationals suggests that foreign individuals or networks may be supporting insurgent groups like Boko Haram and ISWAP through logistics, training, mining partnerships, or technology. This raises concerns about the international dimension of Nigeria's terrorism problem, with external actors aiding domestic threats.
Okay, Biko, it tells me we are dealing with a bigger crisis here.
No, I have never had.
Did you see this coming?
I have never doubted that there is foreign influence on the Boko Haram insurgency. A lot of their fighters, first and foremost, are non-Nigerians.
All right.
A lot of their fighters. When the Giwa barracks was invaded, and our troops had to fight for hours to take back the barracks.
Yeah.
You know, using a lot of air platforms in the process. Some of the people arrested could not speak a word of English. And I remember that a basket of money was found at the scene, meaning that they were, and it was foreign currency.
Okay.
Sefa and some dollars, meaning that they were supposed to distribute this foreign currency to them after a successful operation. But it turned out that it was not a successful operation for them. Yes, it was daring to come into the heart of Maiduguri and attack a barrack, burning some tanks, armored tanks that they found on location. It was a daring operation, but ultimately Nigerian troops prevailed, and that was what opened my own eyes to the fact that foreigners were involved in this war. Even when the Chadians launched a counter-attack against Boko Haram some years back, shortly before the death of their president, some of the Boko Haram fighters who were apprehended by Chadian troops were also not Nigerians. I even saw a particular one that had dreadlocks, and I'm like, oh, this is not a Kanuri man now. What is all this? So we have to expand the investigation in such a way that we can get to the root of this whole thing. ISIS is actively funding ISWAP, so it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. These sort of people could have been sent to go and strengthen the hand of ISWAP in that area so that they can have a good grip on the northeast area. So the international dimension has always been there. ISWAP pledged allegiance to Islamic State. Islamic State chooses the leadership of ISWAP.
Okay.
Islamic State once directed ISWAP and Boko Haram to come together. It was the attempt to achieve that led to the death of Shekau, when Abu Musab al-Banawi invaded Shekau's camp, and Shekau suffered some injuries, and he then used his suicide belt to take his own life. So it was a directive from ISWAP that, look, we are embarrassed that people have factions. Go and merge, get hold of Shekau and unite both groups by force. Some of Shekau's people refused to go and join because they knew that if they joined, they will be demoted, some of them will be killed. You can imagine somebody who is a commander in Shekau's camp. By the time he goes to the other faction. They are not going to relegate the commanders there for him to retain his position. So they were weighing it. So they rebelled. So till today, Islamic State has not been able to unite both factions, and they've been killing one another. Anytime they jam one another,
something
you know, they kill one another. There was even an occasion when they attacked wives of one another.
Wow.
And it led to serious bloodbath. Many women were killed. So the international dimension had always been there.
Yeah, Mayor, mine is, I get the impression a lot of intel led to the spotting of this Chinese national.
Yeah, it basically has to do with criminality. You know, no matter your, those who want to be involved in crime will be involved in crime.
Yeah.
If you notice that during the time we have this problem in Zamfara, there was always rumors that some people will bring arms when they were smuggling gold and all that. So, but in this case, I think, to continue where it stopped, was that ISIS was the one funding ISWAP. ISIS traditionally have foreign fighters, you know, because when they have the Islamic State, they were able to attract fighters from different places. And apart from that, they also have mercenaries, soldiers of fortune, who go to where there are problems and get paid for doing that. So it is possible that the Chinese guy, being involved in criminality and because of his knowledge about drones, could have been hired to be able to provide the logistic support for those people. You understand? So the major attraction is criminality, but basically it's because ISIS rely on mercenaries and volunteers who wanted to fight for the Islamic State.
Yeah,
so we have to be more careful. We have to know that we have to expect that we are going to see people like this. Also,
it is just as well, BKO, that according to the officer we saw now, investigation is on.
Yes.
And in the coming days, we'll have a better picture.
Yes, hopefully, because this is not the first time they are making arrests.
Okay.
There has always been an international dimension to the kind of terrorism that we are going through.
Dealing with,
Just as you said, ISIS has always used, even people from the West fought on the side of ISIS. You know, so ISIS has always used foreign fighters. So it won't be a bad idea to them if they send some of their foot soldiers to Nigeria to help ISWAP gain a foothold. And every time ISWAP makes a breakthrough against the Nigerian troops, it is good news for them.
Oh yeah.
They get more money.
Yeah.
They get more encouragement.
Those who want to be involved in crime will be involved in crime.
Yeah.
If you notice that during the time we have this problem in